All right, let's begin with Mike Wilson, Wes Rucker, then Grant Ramey.
Tell him to come back to me. Oh, can you hear me now? Yep.
We can.
Sweet. Rick, what led to the rebounding performance today, and how much of that stemmed from Josiah seemingly getting back to his rebounding form?
Well, that had a lot to do with it, obviously, and we talked about it, extensively the last couple of days, Mike, about we're either going to get tough enough to do it, or we're going to struggle. We're going to lose games because of it, and we've just allowed people to honestly play harder, be more aggressive, and not go at it the way we needed to. And we said, hey, sooner or later, we've got to do it. We've got to rebound the basketball. And I thought early we were able to do that. And now we'll see if we're tough enough to continue doing it.
Yeah, Rick, how's Eve doing? It looked like he kind of hurt one ankle or something in the lower leg, and then maybe hurt the other one in the second half. He didn't come back?
I don't know. I just saw him during the timeout before he turned his ankle on that one drive. Chad had something on his knee, so I think he might have got hit in a knee or something. I don't know, knee or quad. And they actually said to me one time, if we're going to play him, we better get him out there before he tightens up. And then he went back in and played well. But when he drove baseline, that was an ankle turn. And they did tell me at the end of the game that he was available if we wanted to put him back in. But I thought he played really well. I thought he carried himself extremely well today in terms of his body language, the way he looked, like he was in total control of what he wanted to do and how he wanted to go about it. And, Folke, I can say the same thing for Folke, without question, probably played the best he's played in a long, long time. And the reason people thought we'd be good would be because of both of those guys, and both of them showed up tonight and did their jobs.
Rick, you guys didn't allow a single second chance points. How, I guess, proud of you of that? How special is that for a team to do that against a team like Kansas?
Well, we are. And again, I told the guys, if I only look at one thing on that stat sheet, the only thing that really bothers me, and you guys know how much turnovers bother me, and you look at it, I think, how many points we give them? 18 or so points off turnovers. I can't see it. Let's see. They had 19 points off turnovers, and some of it is because defensively they switch aggressively, and we were not being as aggressive as we needed to be early in the game driving the ball, because we knew we were going to have to do that, but the fact that we were able to take those other buckets away from it was good for us. Overall, defensively, we were really solid, and for the most part, once we grade it out, I'll be shocked if everybody's not where they need to be from our standards on the positive on the defensive end.
Ben McKee, Gus Balo, and Vince Ferrari.
Coach, you started Keon and Jaden together for the first time all season. Josiah comes off the bench for the first time all season. What'd you think of that move and how it played out tonight?
I thought it played out well. All along, we thought a couple weeks back that we were moving in that direction, but because when Jaden got hurt, it really slowed it down. And but the last really week, they've been able to practice some and put that group together the way you'd like to. And but I thought they did it, and I thought Josiah came off the bench, did a terrific job. I thought Olivier was really terrific in the game, and then you throw in VJ. I thought he had great command of his game tonight. So I would say it worked, and I think for the first time they both have started on and off. So I don't know if it was a really big thing for them. I think combined they had 21 points. Turnover-wise, I haven't looked at it that close. I don't know how many turnovers they had between them. I would say 5 or 6, which I don't know what they are, what it is. It's somewhere there, I would think. But that's what they have to cut down on.
Hey, Coach, I just wanted to ask about the three-point shooting tonight. You guys obviously were hitting it from the three-point line. Kansas had some trouble really all night from the three-point line. Just an effort overall about the three-point shooting.
Well, we got in a situation where we were not looking to shoot the ball a couple weeks back. We just weren't taking open shots, and it was forcing us into late clock situations. And turnovers, 18 turnovers back-to-back games, and the majority of it was due because of guys not taking open shots. And then last game we took shots, they didn't go in, but the fact is tonight we took shots and we make them. And so I think one of the big keys is that guys know now they better take open shots. And if not, it just bogs everything down. And if we can continue to rebound like that, we'll get some more offensive rebounds. But I think we've got guys that can make shots, but I think it's a matter of them taking uncontested shots. We don't want contested shots, and we move the ball around like we're capable of. We'll get the looks we need, and we'll make our share.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
Rick, you talked about the defense earlier. How big was it to keep Kansas from getting in the lane like they want to? Is this the best you guys have defended those drives to the basket? That's one. And then two, what do you think about Victor Bailey's defense specifically tonight?
Well, again, what we've talked about with our defense is that we know, we played them last year out there, and it was a close game, and I think we learned something from those games, that game. But we knew that if we guarded the way we would like to guard their sets, that they were going to get the weave going and get going downhill, hard drives, basically to the right. And depending on where they put players, and it gets down to our scouting report, we were really concerned about their ball screen action because McCormick is a terrific player, and they do a lot of neat things to get him involved, whether ball screens or rolling him in there or posting him up. And BJ, we told him all along, he had his best practice of his career here 2 days ago, where he basically stayed with the second team. And I've said to him all along, your goal should be to make the second team the most competitive team here, but you need to understand and change the mentality to play like a combination guard instead of a guy that wants to be a volume shooter. And he was terrific. And defensively, I do think he's getting better and better with that. And we need great defensive effort from all of our guards. And we need our guards to score. And more than anything, we need our team to understand. By now, we need to understand roles and understand it to a high degree. And if we can continue to build on everybody's role, we have a chance to get better.
Let's go Teresa Walker, Rob Lewis, and Ryan Shumpert.
Rick, the SEC won this challenge this year 5-4, only the second time. Is that a nice statement, particularly in such an unusual year where non-conference games were rare for a lot of teams?
Well, it is. I mean, today I've had more people that I've seen today tell me today felt like an NCAA weekend, because this is where ESPN wanted to put this challenge to create what they tried to create with it. But yeah, the fact that we were able to win it for the second time, because everybody thinks that our league is down, and I don't know what league's up, what league's down. I really don't. I just know that the Big 12's got some terrific teams. I know that we've got some terrific teams, and there's so much balance right now in college basketball. And I think there's so much still uncertainty because you got teams that might have time off, and some teams can get better during that time off, to be quite honest, if they can practice. But I'm glad we won the challenge. I really am, because there was enough talk about our league not being very good, and people talking arguably the Big 12 or the Big 10 being the best league. But the fact is, we were able, I think, 5-4, and so yeah, I think it's great for our league.
Coach, this is the second time you guys have scored 80 points since SEC play began. You shot 52-53% from the field. What do you feel like was the key to your offensive efficiency tonight?
I think guys taking shots. I think that's a big key when guys take open shots. I think it's really important, and I think we've got too many guys that work hard at shooting that have been turning down shots that led to turnovers. And then tonight, when we weren't playing great basketball, and again, you're playing the clock a little bit, we were stagnant with the ball and just not doing what we needed to do. We'll learn from that. But we've got guys that we're a very unselfish team, sometimes to a fault, to be quite honest with you. And we just want to take Rob. We get good looks at it. We feel good about it. And when we're clicking, we're playing together, we feel like we're an inside-out team. And that's not just throwing the ball into a post guy. It's driving the ball, trying to work hard at getting into the high percentage area, kick out. But the key is, honestly, you've got to take open shots when you're there. And if we do that, it takes care of a lot of things. Even if we're missing them, it gives us a chance to keep the floor balanced. It keeps us from turning the ball over and letting the team get 19 points because of turnovers. And it gives us a chance to offensive rebound.
Seemed like Olivier was a lot more aggressive on the offensive end tonight. What kind of led to that, and I guess his increased confidence?
Well, I think Olivier's getting better. More so, I think the way he seems to be a little bit more relaxed. But I took him out. I said, "Hey, man," I talked to him last night about his job is to play defense first, and we want him to take open shots. Now, the first one he took was not a very good shot, and then it came right back to him, and he shot it quick, and they were backing off, which we knew they would. We talked about that. But the reason I took him out, I said, "Hey, you're supposed to be a defensive guy. You've taken 2 shots, but you've given up 2 baskets. McCormick scored on him twice." I said, "You got to get locked in there." And he came back in, and he can score. Believe me, we think he can. We just think he's got to not put his weight on thinking that's what he's got to do for us. We need him to be a defender, a rebounder, and just instinctively, like he did tonight, he'll score buckets.
Finish up with Joseph Bonanno, Mike Wilson, and Wes Rucker.
Hey, Coach. John Fulkerson was really playing physical down below. How important is it for him to be as physical as he is?
I'm sorry, who did you say?
The important
down there?
Physicality.
Well, again, we've been on him all along, and we don't mind if he gets physical. I mean, he's not the kind of guy that's going to get physical from start to finish. We don't expect that from him, but we do expect him if he's going to drive it hard, he's got to drive it with force, and know that he's going to, the game you're allowed to. There's going to be some bumping going on, and you can't be flopping and flailing around. You got to know, you got to apply the force, because they can are entitled to their position as much as you are there. But I thought tonight he played with more speed, and he got back to doing what he had spent 4 or 5 years doing, working on a high release and a quick up. Those are the things that's made him good. And we told him, so when was the last time you had your turnaround high release jump shot? And the only play I would say that his second jump shot where he did a step back, which I don't know if he's ever done. He doesn't need to do that. We don't need him doing that. Everything else is what he normally has worked on since he's been here.
Rick, with VJ, how do you continue to kind of hone in with him on shooting at the right times, not being a volume shooter, and like you said, being that combo guard opposed to just a guy who shoots?
Well, Mike, we all know that he needs to score. I mean, that's what he does, and we don't want to take away what he does well. We don't want to do that. What we want him to do is understand, and where he has probably lost minutes was more than anything was defensively, and we expect him to continue to understand open shots and what that's about. But tonight, I thought he was as locked in, and I'm saying that without really seeing the whole thing again. But I thought he was locked in there. We knew that they had a couple backdoor plays, a couple lob plays, and we actually said to the team, which one's going to get it? Who are they going to get it on? And we didn't give it up all night. And it was it had to be one of the guards. That's who they do it for. But he, Keon, Josiah, Santi, Jaden, we knew those guys, they need to score. They need to take open shots when they're open. And we expect them to rebound. And if they do that, that's when we get it. We talked about before the game, we can't run if we don't rebound. And we were able to do that, and we want to get out in the open court and see if we can make those plays.
Rick, I think you said earlier that you'd be shocked if anyone on the team individually had sort of a bad defensive grade for this game. I guess roughly how often is that actually the case when you grade out a game? And
what was the first part of it?
Wes, can you restate that?
Yeah, sure. If I know, Rick, you said that you'd be shocked if anyone on the team had a negatives or sort of bad defensive grade in this game. And I'm wondering how often that actually happens when you go out and grade it where no one has a bad grade defensively.
Well, it does happen. I mean, and like in a game that we've lost most of the time has been guard play. It's been where the guards have not done their jobs. And but we have a line that we want everybody under. We've got a red line and a green line. And right now in the season, I think there's only a couple guys that are above the red line, and maybe tonight it puts everybody under it. But the biggest stat of all that we have gone backwards in the last 3 weeks has been rebounding. And we realize the competition has gotten stiffer and will continue to get stiffer, but we proved tonight that if we want to rebound, we can rebound the ball, but it takes everybody doing that. And so every point that is scored against us, it might not necessarily go against the guy that's guarding the ball totally. He might get one of them. It might be he did his job and somebody's supposed to be there to tag or help. It might be. So we really break it down to the point where every point is accounted for. But like Folky's been up there some because of ball screen coverage, where he gets, even though it looks like the guard's getting downhill scoring, it happened tonight. But those points will go to him because he wasn't up there on the coverage. So that's how we break it down. And when the guard does his job and the big's not there where he needs to be on the ball screen and they get downhill, but we're very stringent on it, to be quite honest with you, because we want those guys to take great pride in wanting to be below that green line.
Coach, thank you. That's a 2-0 record for the Vols when you're wearing the Flynet Air Force Ones. So I think Vol Nation is going to expect to see those the rest of the way.
Can I get an orange pair?
We'll see what we can do.
See you. Thanks, guys.